Alright, this is pretty simple and easy. We just set our piece up, we flattened off the top. I've leveled it off of this top surface. We're just going to drill it for 832 screw there in the end, and we'll drill it through, we'll countersink it, we'll drill our clearance and we'll countersink it, and then we'll go back and just split it right in the middle. .832 tap size is a 29, clearance is a 19. There we go, that's the way it'll fit. Now let's go back and finish cutting our slot here. What we'll do is just run a hacksaw down through there, and then we'll go back and file it from the inside. I've got a slot down the middle. So this is our part, and we've got our slit. We don't have our lock screw in there yet, which we can put in, but there's enough play in it right there. And our set screw will go in there just like this. Or our pinch screw. And that will pinch it so it's secure. And now that can travel there. And if we take our little square, just like that, is probably, because we'll align our inside jaw with the face of our part. And as we advance it, of course, why, that will be anchored in place. And it can just continue to read out. So that's the way we'll mount it. I'm going to go ahead and machine the part that's going to mount on here. It's going to be that much of the end type of thing, a little bit longer piece, and we'll drill and tap that with probably 2 screws, 2 socket head cap screws, just like we've used down here. We've got this is still tight enough. We don't have, well, I guess if I tighten it down it's tight enough. What do we got here? And we'll align this with our mounting brackets when we get that far, because we can rotate it around. But if we do that, we have virtually no rotation on this tailstock. It's nice and tight in its setting, so that'll give us good, nice, clear travel, and that's going to work real well. So I'm going to go ahead. I haven't even drawn up the part in here, which is a simple little drawing. I'll draw that. We'll come back and machine that plate and figure out how we're going to mount it. We'll align everything here. Once we get the two parts aligned, I'll probably clamp them together, and then I'll drill 2 holes in each of them, and I'll just use that for alignment. And we can go back and drill our calipers, and we'll have a digital readout for our tailstock. Hopefully that's going to work. Well, I don't think we quite cleaned up the back side. Yeah, we've skinned across it. That may be enough to clean it up. We got a little bit. I knew this stock was a little small, but let's take a look at it and see what it does. Now there's still some more work to do on this stock. Yeah, I didn't touch the back side, but that was actually a factory surface, so for this application it will probably be close enough. I would have liked a little bit of a radius on there, but alright. Well, this is our bracket. Hopefully I've got you in focus here. I'm looking at the wrong side of the camera. What I did is we've relieved it for 2 832 screws that are going to mount into it, and then I've relieved the top for the back of the caliper because it's got a step on the side that's got the electronics in it, on the fixed side, or on the fixed jaw. So it's going to set down in there like that and screw on. So when it's in place, it will mount right about there, and this will set right on top of it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 1 hole in this caliper in the fixed jaw, and then I'm going to drill 2 holes in here. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll set up the first one in the fixed jaw. So if we just clamp this in place, maybe, if we clamp that in place, then this will actually drill in place right there. So what I'll do is just make sure our fixed jaw is aligned with the front edge, or pretty close to right here. Right in place, just about like that. We're just going to go ahead, we've got the first hole marked, so we're going to go ahead and drill it in the caliper, and then we'll transfer it onto the aluminum blocks. So we'll go ahead and do that first one. So here's what we ended up with for mounting for our fixed jaw. And there's our aluminum piece. Mounted to the back, mounts nice and flush. Real happy with that. Got that one. I went ahead and drilled for the other two holes here on the fixed jaw. So what I'm going to do is just set it in place. We'll clamp it up in place. I'll spot the other two holes here, and then we'll pull it apart, drill those, and then we're ready pretty much for final mounting to make sure everything's going to work. There's our two holes to spot that. So I'll go ahead and pull this off, take it over to the mill, and we'll drill and tap it. Alright, we're all drilled, ready to mount up, I think, for the initial mounting. I still got two more holes to drill and tap in the tailstock, but we'll get those marked out in a minute. We've got a bracket on the back of this one. This assembly will sit right there, just like that. Our screw holes are oversized a little bit in the nose of this caliper, in the jaws, so that we can adjust them a little bit if we need to for alignment. Looks like it lays pretty nicely there. And I think that alignment's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I think what we will do, that sits right there, we'll go ahead and we'll spot for the bottom hole. I don't know what we can do with the upper hole with it, but we've set all the way back against the fixed jaw, so that'll hold our alignment vertically for the second one. That'll go in just like that. I think we're going to go ahead and disassemble this tailstock to drill and tap those two holes. I probably won't show that on camera because there's really nothing major there. I'll strip the top part of the, well, I'll strip the whole tailstock off. We'll just probably set it up in the mill vise and hold it on whatever flats we can. That way we can drill at 90 degrees in there. And we'll just strip the quill out so we don't drill into that. And go ahead and get that done. and we'll be ready to do a final assembly on this. We can show that, and we'll pull it apart, and I'm going to throw these 2 aluminum machine parts into the tumbler and deburr them and get the tooling marks off of it, and then I think we'll probably powder coat it if I get that far. Okay, well, here's our final product. I still haven't powder coated up our pieces yet. I still haven't tumbled them. I'll disassemble everything, we'll tumble them up, and I'll throw up coating a cream powder coat on it, and sometime in the future I'll throw up a picture of that. But anyway, for now this is going to work just fine. There's our on. We're in inches. We've got our choice of inch or millimeters someplace here, right here. 1.9, 0.07 inches. We can zero it out from whatever position we want. Lays out pretty well. I'm really happy with that. We'll see how these cheap scales hold up. You know, like I say, this is a $10 scale. I kind of expect once I get coolant and crap in it, why it'll probably give up the ghost and we'll have to do something else. But for a inexpensive solution for at least short runs, if I've got a production run going, if it lasts through 40 or 50 pieces, why I can say it's a consumable and be happy with that. Just kind of mark that and give myself a little indication of when we're at the end of travel. So when we get that far, well, I will know that we can't go too much further. I think alignment looks pretty good there. I'm pretty happy with that. That was a mess. I'll probably go back and trim this scale a little bit more. I don't need that much hanging out there. And it may not last that long either. Okay, so that'll be a nice addition to this. Scale works in English or metric. Like I said before, we'll run this scale until it doesn't work anymore. You know, it may run for a long time, it may crap out right away, but for a $10 investment, well, I'll either slap another one back on there or slap a metal electronic one on there, whatever the case may be. I've used a relatively inexpensive Chinese caliper on the tailstock on the Sheldon lathe, and it's lasted for several years. I haven't had any problems with it, but I don't run flood coolant on it. So this one, in reality, I'm not running flood coolant right in this area, particularly even when I run it up. Why I try and be careful because I've got the shield off, and I don't want to get sprayed with any more coolant than I have to either. So I don't have a whole lot of coolant actually going on to the tailstock area, or shouldn't have. So this may last for quite a while. Next upgrade for this, if it doesn't work or if it doesn't give very good service life, something goes wrong, why we may put a metal cheap Chinese scale on, whether it's another Harbor Freight piece of crap or if we get another Chinese. Like I say, the other Chinese scales I've had seem to be a little more robust than some of the Harbor Freight stuff, and not quite as rough as this last Harbor Freight scale I got, or caliper I got. So anyway, kind of rambling now. Hopefully you found something helpful here. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and if you hit the bell notification, you'll know when I put out one of these new videos. And any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.